Yo, social media families and friends, Mr. Swinney here. Taper conversations, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We have a special guest today. You know what? The interview is gonna talk about itself. Great guy, former alumni, One Stop Academy, School of Barbering. He hails from, he's at One Stop Barbershop. Now, you need to check him out, catch him on the gram. Great barber, great dude. I like to present to some, introduce to others, Jamal Taylor. Marlington, what's up, man?
What's good, bro?
Good to see you today, brother. Man, look, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Who you are, where you from, man?
I'm Jamal Taylor. I'm 49 years old from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Married, 3 kids, beautiful wife. Having a great time at life, enjoying it. And you can find me at One Stop Barbershop, cutting, getting you clean,
Ooh.
making it nice. Come check me out.
Marl, what made you want to get into barbering, man?
I used to cut hair as a kid, and grew up, had a life, and started working concrete.
Grown man work.
Grown man work, I loved it. But then I ended up having trouble with my kidneys, okay? And doing concrete work was not something I can continue to do. So while I was working concrete, I started going to barber school. I found One Stop Academy and went there, graduated, became a great barber.
You sure did, sir. And I don't say that about a lot of people.
Mr. Swinney
wait a minute.
and company.
Come on.
I like to also thank Mr. Cheek. Yeah, it was a great instructor.
Oh, Mr. Cheek, shout out to you, TNN Barber College. We got you.
We had a good time, great time. Night class was fun, and I learned a lot.
Wow. Jamal, man, it's a great to have you here today.
Finally.
You know, I know, right? See, Jamal, I was trying to, I'm gonna tell you what happened. And I said, Lord, you got to help me out with this one. I kept trying to bring other barbers in, but everybody was so busy. Our schedules was conflicting. I said, you know what? Charity first begins at home. I said, I'm gonna do a straight series on One Stop Barbershop alumni students and One Stop Academy alumni students, okay? And that's what I'm doing now. We're going through the list of our alumni that graduated from the school, barbers that work at the shop now, former barbers used to work with us, and we're just giving y'all the shine and all the accolades and letting people know who you all are out here in this world so they can come get them cuts. You remember when I first met you in barber school, you needed a kidney then, because you were like 200 pounds.
I was about 190.
You was a good size dude.
Yeah.
So when did you remember you told me that what caused the kidney issue, and this is what's good, we want our viewers to check this out, being of African American descent, and the type of work you were doing, which was construction concrete. Your dad owned concrete business, right? Paving. You remember you told me that it all started with that issue because you gave your sister. Your sister?
Yeah, I gave my sister a kidney in 2004.
Right.
2014, I found out that I had high blood pressure.
There it goes.
And the high blood pressure is what stopped my kidney from functioning the way it was supposed to.
And the high blood pressure was linked to, you remember you told me you did mustard packets?
No, what I did was salt packages.
Salt packages.
Yeah, I would get cramps at work.
Cramps at work.
Doing the concrete works, being on my knees and everything. So I knew that a little bit of salt would take a cramp away.
And this is before the high blood pressure.
This is before the high blood pressure.
This is
when I gave my sister,
when
I gave my sister a kidney, I was perfect health. Everything was great.
Gotcha.
And like during the time of just doing concrete work, sometimes you get and this is during summertime, you get cramps. So I would just eat a salt package. This is over the course of years. I would do this. And I remember getting dizzy sometimes, having dizzy spells. So what I would do is just basically take off from work, get myself together for a couple of days. And I happened to be going to work one day and I had to throw up. And when I threw up, I made my tonsils swollen. And I could feel my tonsil over my throat. So I decided to go to the hospital.
Man.
And they gave me something to fix all of that. All right. But they said, you got a larger problem. And this is when they told me that I had high blood pressure and my kidney creatinine level was at a high level. And it's supposed to be around, 1 or below, but it was, pushed up at like maybe a 4. And that was terrible. And they were saying that it was basically getting ready to shut down, and they were trying to give me some pills to see if they can react. And they gave me some steroids, and they gave me a pill called clonidine, which I happen to be allergic to.
No.
So that situation was bad. So then once I came back, it was past the time to where the kidney was not working, so they had to give me an emergency operation where they put a cord in my chest down to my heart, and they were able to like put me on emergency dialysis.
Man.
And yeah, I started going through that, and I was on it for about 4.5 years before
I remember that.
I got on the list. Yeah, got on the list.
So were you staying hydrated at work?
At work now?
No, at work. I know you hydrated.
Oh, you
at
talking
the
about?
shop.
Yeah,
we watching you.
I mean, yeah, we would get Gatorades and stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a big water person. You understand what I'm saying? And I wasn't drinking water as much. I was drinking everything else but water, and
that's what caused, because you were taking the salt with no water.
Water, yeah.
It caused the high blood pressure.
Constantly, I was just drinking really over and over, but my body was dehydrated.
Gotcha. What would you recommend to guys now that's doing the type of construction you were doing?
Stay hydrated, but not just water, but Gatorade as well. But you definitely need to take a lot of intake of water, because being out there in that hot sun, you're sweating salt and everything out of your body, so you need to provide some of that back into your body.
I think they recommend 8 to 10 8-ounce glasses of water a day. So guys, the rule for that is 64 ounces. So a gallon of water is what, like 84 ounces? Is that almost something like that?
Somewhere like that.
Between 64 and 84. So the rule is, I've always heard to drink half your body weight in water. I weigh like $150, so cut that in half. That need to be my water intake. So you like 140, cut that in half, be your water intake. That's what they want you to shoot for. They say, man, that's a lot of, going to the bathroom all day. You rather go to the bathroom and have some other problems.
Yeah, you rather be peeing and using the bathroom rather than being stuck up to a machine that's siphoning your blood out and giving it some cleaning, but not the full clean that your body needs.
So tell them about like dialysis.
Dialysis is kind of rough. I mean, but it will save your life if you go. I've had a couple people go and stop going and met their demise a couple of weeks later. So it is that serious. And then once you get on dialysis, you want to be able to get on a list to get off, because I've seen a lot of people.
Now the list you speak of.
Get on the list to get another kidney.
Gotcha.
All right, and you're gonna have to, when you're on dialysis, you get a certain amount of water, of fluids, period, to drink all day, and that includes ice cream and ices or anything that can be considered
super strict
fluid. Yeah, and that's like 32 ounces of liquid, which is a Gatorade bottle of fluid for the day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so.
And dialysis time was how long? And I remember. So let's go back to barber school. I remember you came to barber school, you told me your situation. You're like, hey, Mr. Swinney, at any given time, just want to let you know, they could call me. They'll come and get a kidney because I'm on the list. And I was like, man, you look perfectly fine. I'm like, man. And you had told me, you said, Mr. Swinney, I have not used the restroom in 5 years.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was, you hear what I just said?
Yeah,
he hadn't gone to the restroom.
I had been on dialysis
in 5
years. I had noticed, I was like, I ain't peed in a long time. Like, what's going on? And they told me that was like, you might not be using the bathroom like that,
Man.
So that was different, that's a mental health thing within itself, thinking of, like I used to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of my body mass. Yeah, it took a lot of my body mass away. So it's a lot of things you got to get used to, and I can honestly say I kind of broke down a little bit, it took its toll, but I fought through it, and I got better.
Jamal, I know that we were talking about, the situation with your kidneys, but it also led to some prostate issues that I think, the young men need to hear about, especially all young men, but especially young men of minority and African American descent. Let's talk about that.
Well, like I said, after I did get a kidney, I had an issue where I wasn't emptying my bowels all the way, and it was because my prostate had enlarged a little bit, and it was pushing on the walls of my urethra. All right, so it was making it to where it was like a speed bump, and I was not able to clear. So my kidney that is usually up here, when you get another one, they put it down lower in your body, and the urine would be around it. And this is urine that's supposed to be leaving your body. It's waste. It was what it was doing was it was making the kidney sick from the urine sitting on it. Okay.
Wow.
And I used to, like a couple of times last year, I got hospitalized where I was in there for about a week, and I had to have fluids, and they had to like empty my bowels. So that came from when the prostate swelled up.
So when you say empty your bowels, do you mean empty your bladder or your bowels?
My bladder.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I still had urine still sitting around the kidney, and it gave me a UTI.
And the prostate and the kidneys,
they're all in this
urethra,
area.
all this area here, very special area here.
Yeah. So after we did an operation to smooth out where I had a speed bump in my urethra, I was able to flow and get my bowels, well, I'm gonna say bowels, my bladder empty.
But it was because your prostate was enlarged, but it was enlarged, but you didn't have prostate cancer.
No.
That's crazy. And you noticed something was wrong because when you went to the restroom, it would like trickle out.
Yeah, it'd be like when you cut on a faucet and the water just kind of like comes out and it sometimes starts to drip. You know, I just was not catching that full flow. I had to sometimes push. And as I pushed, you could feel the pressure of it releasing. And that was a problem. And like I said, it put me in the hospital 3 times in 1 year. And what the doctor said is it scarred the kidney. So it took down the functions of the kidney. So you have to take anti-rejection medicine. So you have to tell your body not to attack the kidney, first of all.
Goodness.
This is medicine you have to take, and you have to take it for the rest of your life. The rest of the time you have the kidney. Because you're basically telling your white blood cells not to attack the kidney because they see the kidney as a foreign entity in your body. So you take medicine that really takes down your immune system. So you got to be around people coughing and sneezing. You got to be wary of that type of situation. So that is one of the things I had to take. I was taking like 16 pills at one time, you know.
A day?
Day and night.
And night?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, when it first started, now they ease you off some of the pills according to how your functions are doing with the kidney.
People don't realize how fortunate they are, man, to have healthy urine flow and healthy kidneys. We are not supposed to take stuff like that for granted. Yeah. And when you notice something, go get checked out.
Immediately. I was one of those guys that, you know, was like,
I was gonna straighten out.
I'm a man, you know, I don't go to the hospital unless I'm dying, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that mentality almost killed me. You know, you need to go to the hospital. You need to check out when you are not feeling right. I know like with men, you know, you don't want, you feel like, hey, I'm a man, it'll work it out, but that ain't how it's gonna work, you know? So I'm fortunate now to have health insurance.
Sure.
And if I get scratched, they're gonna keep me in the hospital. Yeah, they're gonna keep me in the hospital and they're gonna make sure everything is good. Now that's the difference between having health care and not having health care.
Oh my goodness.
They'll put a Band-Aid on you and send you out. You have health care, they're gonna look into getting you fixed. And I was at Duke. That was a great hospital to be at, especially when it comes to kidneys.
Now, or do you have health care through your own pay because you're self-employed? But or did they grant you health care due to your medical situation?
I have it due to the medical situation with Medicare, and then my wife works and she has.
Gotcha.
She has actually.
So her stuff kicks in and Medicare kicks in and takes care of. That is always, we always try to tell, even though we're self-employed, we can pay for our own insurance, but it's always good to have a spouse that, you know, if they want to work, have a good job so we can get on their insurance too and have our own insurance.
And it's a little more than that. Now, I have all of these insurances, but I have pills that cost me $300 a month, you know, for anti-rejection. And that's discounted.
Goodness.
Yeah. Some of these pills are like $42,000, you know what I'm saying? So after I pay for the $300 like 6 months out of the year.
That's out your pocket?
Yeah, it's out of pocket. So, and that's just those pills, you know what I'm saying? I have like 8 different pills that I have to take.
Good gracious.
So, yeah, it's a lifestyle change.
Sure.
And if you can prevent the lifestyle change by going to the doctor regularly, getting checkups, and making sure your body, especially when you get older, making sure your body's...
and you're 40?
I'm 49. I know I look this good, but I am 49. But yeah, at this age, you really have to take care of your body. And you got to really, it really starts at the younger age, eating healthy.
Yeah.
And fast food and all that. Hey, it's fast, but it's not healthy.
It's the devil meant killer.
And
I made that one up.
But it's real. You know, my body won't even, I can't even eat fast food now.
So you straight organic?
Yeah, I have to eat real food, all right? And I've gotten it to where salads, natural things is the best way to go. Fruit.
Plant-based.
Plant-based is really the best way to go.
I'm with you on that.
You know.
And I tell, and they tell us at the doctor, one, barbers, hey, self-employed, get a yearly checkup. Let them check all your blood levels.
6 months.
Pay for it, right. Check, hey look, and check this out. Pay for it out your pocket. You can get, $100, physical or something if you don't have insurance. But get some type of affordable care, get some type of insurance, sacrifice the money. Don't be around here riding no Hellcats, spiders, whatever they call them things. You need to, don't boss up in the car, boss up in your health. Then when you're good and healthy, you can save the money you would be giving to the doctor in the hospitals on your leisure stuff and stuff you want.
That's correct.
Okay? Be smart, because they tell us now, African-American men and all men really, but especially African-American and men of minority descent, to start getting checked for high blood pressure, cholesterol, prostate, okay, all that in the renal area at 35. They start running our blood work and checking, and then when you get around 40, 45, 42, let them take them fingers and go up in there and check you. You heard? No, I ain't letting them go up in there. Oh, it's the difference between life or death. Let them glove up. You seen the videos? Hold on, little bruh. Wait a minute, little bruh. Hold on, be still. Say, doc, you gonna use all your fingers? I got to get that. Whatever he need to do, let him check you, because early detection will save your life on that prostate. You hear me? Because it leads to other problems.
Hypertension is a silent killer, man. High blood pressure will kill you. And before you get the signs, it's almost too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
So yeah. High blood pressure killed my kidney. Killed it.
Which was preventable.
Which was, yeah. If my blood pressure is like it is now, we'll never had nothing to worry about.
And what's crazy, like I tell people, like I dabble in between, plant-based, pescatarian, vegan. Vegan is plant-based, just a real vegan don't wear any animal byproducts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm on a fast now. I'm doing like every other day, 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Then eating the next day, and I eat at the end of the next day, maybe like a salad, but all plant-based. Because a lot of people that's talking to me, scaring me. And I'm being proactive on behalf of other folks' conversations with me or the stuff they going through. Hey man, you need to, watch this right here. Hey man, this is what I'm going through right now. I wish I would have did this. I'm fasting on everybody else's behalf, including me, because I could always do better. We are supposed to be at a certain BMI. I'm a small guy, small frame. My ideal BMI, body mass index, is like 138 to like 143. Whenever I was like 138 to like 140, I didn't have no high cholesterol, no high nothing. Everything was in order. But when I started eating back crazy and my weight was between 145, 150, like COVID, I was 160. I was pre-diabetic. Look how small I am. Mm-hmm. COVID, it went crazy. Oxtails every day. Grits and eggs every day. Foolish. Went to the doctor. He said, man, you pre-diabetic. I had a belly. Hey, look. And then he said, man, your blood pressure is getting out of control. Mm-hmm. Boom. He said, hey, man, all your numbers is out of order. He said, you need to stop. So I went straight plant-based. When I went back to the doctor, he said, I don't know what you doing. He said, but all your stuff done balanced off in like a year. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, they were doing me 6 months like you said. They had me coming in every 4 to 6 months. Because my stuff had got crazy. Now, high blood pressure, my dad died. Congestive heart failure. It started off with high cholesterol. Mm-hmm. Then jumped into hypertension. then jumped into diabetes, then jumped into congestive heart failure, and that's what took him out. So, we gotta, the doctor said, hey, just because you're genetically predisposed don't mean you'll catch it. That means you just gotta work harder at not getting it.
That's
right. Don't mean you're gonna get it, but it's in your blood that like if you get out of pocket, it'll get it. So like now, I'm with you, Jamal. I try to walk, yesterday morning, I'm gonna give you my breakfast. Watermelon cantaloupe. I got a little app called My Fitness app, with My Fitness joint. I can log all my little food in there to tell me the micros, macros, tell me the poly, monosaturated fats, all that good stuff, fiber. Watermelon, cantaloupe, boom, breakfast. Didn't eat again till last night. I ate a salad with almonds, walnuts, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, onions. An apple was cut up in that joker, raisins. I went crazy, man. Hey, look, and I feel fine. Yeah. It kept me fuller longer. So we trying to bless you. I said, Lord, I need you to finish straightening me out and help me do better so my kids, you know what I'm saying, will see the need to do better. And I remember all that stuff started. Whenever I went off to college, started eating that college canned food, that's when it started. Bad fast food. So
fast food is terrible, man.
So what's your diet consist of now? Straight fruits, vegetables, stuff like that?
Yes.
You doing meats?
I do eat meats, but it'll be like steak. I slow down on pork, you know, steaks and some chicken, some fish.
Of course.
But
what type of fish?
Croakers,
spots. Oh, wait a minute. them the Friday night fried. If you eating croaker, you eating the fried, Mom. Wait a minute.
But see, this is not an everyday thing. This is not an every week thing. You know what I'm saying? This is like when I'm on my job doing what I'm supposed to do, then I treat myself.
Man.
But I love baked fish.
Oh, absolutely. Salmon, trout.
Yeah, I love baked fish.
The doctor told me, he said, Mr. Swinney, don't you look at nothing fried. He said, don't even look at it. He said, nothing fried, no more, ever. He said, that'll keep he said, when you don't do that stuff, he said, your cholesterol is fine. He said, when you start doing sweets, my mama was a big cake baker, oh God. But see, us cooking the cakes, organic eggs, she making it, you can do it once a week. When you go to Cheesecake Factory,
that's different.
Buying that stuff out there, they doing all that processed stuff, it messed me up.
Preservatives and everything.
So if you're gonna cook it and grow it and make your stuff, you can do it in moderation, even in moderation. But like you growing your own meats, eat them up. Your own chickens, your own cattle, stuff like that. Your own vegetables. I like raising stuff. You know what I'm saying? We do eggs and raise chickens and won't buy no eggs. And I do raise my own vegetables. Stock up my freezer for the winter. We good for the whole winter, right? But whenever I get out of that pocket, it take work now.
Yeah, it does.
Whenever I get out like that, doctor put me on, he had put me on, check this out, robostatin, cholesterol medicine. It made me sick as a dog. Hey, look how small I am. They had me on cholesterol medicine. Cause one, pre-genetically disposed. Two, eating habits was the devil. And that stuff, when I say Jamal, that stuff it had me cramping. When I started cramping, I started thinking about you. I said, Jamal said them cramps is the devil. And don't take no salt though, no mustard.
Yeah.
It messed me up.
Now mustard is different because mustard doesn't have everything salt does. It has turmeric in it. And really that's the active ingredient that you're taking for the cramps is the turmeric.
Sure.
So that's the reason why you would take a little mustard.
Man, that joker put me on that cholesterol medicine, that robostatin. I said it cramped me up and had me lethargic. I mean, I couldn't think. I need to be thinking in the daytime. I'm counting, teaching. And I told him, I said, Doc, he said, man, if you don't take this, it's gonna cause us a problem. I said, what can I do to get off of this stuff? He said, you can go the holistic route, which he said, I'm telling you what to do. He said, but if you can try a plant-based holistic alternative, he said, do what you was doing before. I went back 6 months later, he said, whatever you doing, you better keep doing it. He said, we can't believe it. He said, you ain't taking it. I said, nope. I said, I couldn't take it. He said, whatever you do, you talking about that junk drop, my stuff dropped 80 points. Just off me eating, no fried, no sweets. Get out there in the garden, work a little bit, walk.
Well, your diet is a big part of your health. You eat the wrong things, man, it's gonna put your body into shock. It's not gonna let you think. It's not gonna let you operate and have your stomach hurting. I mean, so.
Stool be hard like rocks.
Yeah, I mean, based on the colors, man, the colors tell you something, with your stool. So
Sure do, don't it?
so yeah, you just being healthy overall is good for you, your family, and if you're not healthy, you can't make money. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I was in the hospital for like a week, and you know all my clientele had to go find somebody else to deal with. Yeah, I'm just fortunate that my clientele like came back when I came back.
That's a blessing now, straight up.
Yeah.
So how was barber school for you? Of course, One Stop alumni. Hitting my mic again. Excuse me. One Stop alumni. Boom. 2018. You was one of my first students. Matter of fact, night class was the first class. Night class, best class. You know how we do.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that was that Monday through Thursday, 6 to 10.
It's still that
Grind.
was fun, man. I enjoyed barber school.
How was it going through barber school with all that going on, trying to cut hair, standing up all day, working all day, on dialysis? That's what people don't realize.
Yeah, I went to dialysis Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I had to get up. On those days, I went to work right after dialysis, and then I would have to like get off work maybe an hour earlier, which my pops didn't like, but he understood.
I bet.
And then I would come to barber school. So yeah, I had days where I wake up, go to dialysis, get off dialysis, go home, get dressed.
Dialysis start at what time?
5:40.
In the morning.
Yes.
And
I had
you
to
on
be there
dialysis until?
about 11 o'clock.
Then you went home.
Got dressed, went to work.
And tell them what you did.
Concrete work.
You ran the machine.
Yes, sir.
He was the guy that boom, boom, boom in the hot, in the, you know what I'm saying?
I did all the machine work, bobcats, trial machines, riding trial machines, all of that. You know, anything with wheels, I drove it.
So let me pause right here because I'm gonna talk a little jump. To students out here in this barbering industry going to school, let's look at Jamal. And I'm gonna use Jamal as a good example. And that's why it's no excuse for a student to be late.
No.
You were always on time.
Yeah.
Every day on time. If this man, and I am gonna compare you to a whole lot of people. I sure am. Students in school now, via our school, other barber schools, other college institution. You have a man like Jamal. This is how bad he wanted to be a barber. He had dialysis 5:40 in the morning, 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Till it was longer than that. 5:40, 6:40, 7:40, 8:40, 9:40, 10:40, 11. Okay, like 6 hours hooked up, sitting there. Then he would leave, go home, get dressed, and go do manual hardcore labor. Then leave there and come straight to barber school and change clothes and was in class with me from 6 to 10. I don't want to hear no more excuses. If you want this, you're gonna earn this. Look at this. That's all I can say. That right there burns me up, man, because you got cats in perfect health and strength. We had students in your class. Perfect health and strength, never came to school on time. Always had an excuse, didn't work, just out here playing games. Your life is on the line. Students, barbers, your life is on the line.
I was motivated.
Motivated.
I had 3 kids, a wife, and I wanted to make my life better. So, and this is a thing I wish I had done earlier. I mean, I love love doing concrete.
Sure.
And I love.
Well, you're a different breed of animal.
Provided a job for me and my family.
Yeah.
But if I could have done this earlier
Sure.
in life, I definitely would have done this earlier.
So you're saying you could make just as good money cutting hair than you were doing concrete with less work, less labor, less intensity, and less strain on the body.
Yes.
Okay, that's all the answer I want. It's crazy. You get what you put in it, you get out of it. I admire the grind because I saw the grind. And really, you know, I think this generation, because we're in a different generation. Our generation still on coming off the baby boomers. That was our parents. We had to get up 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, go get that grind, go get that work, go to school. You out of pocket, you gonna get dealt with same day, might on be on site. You can't halfway say nothing to these kids now. They'll break down, call the law on you. Call the law. They gonna come pick me up because I'm gonna do something before they get there. Praise the Lord. That's that old school generation. And I remember being at school the day you got the call. I remember you like, yo, Mr. Swinney, I ain't gonna make it in today. Ma, what's wrong, man? I got that call. Everybody celebrated. Because your classmates was with you. Now that class you was with was solid.
Yeah.
We had maybe 1 or 2, but they was really, and like all of us still kind of talked too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody was behind you and supported you. And because we wanted to know that, you know, you around folk that support your care, you need to sit down, man. You tired, take a load off, Mom. Go to classroom, hang out, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, I remember getting the call and you was like, man, they told me I got to leave right now and go up there. And matter of fact, when you got up there, we came up there.
Yeah.
After that, I said, man, we got to see it for ourselves. And out of all of that, I said, we knew he was going to get on there. We'd already been praying. But the day you came back to school, now, y'all don't take this for granted or harshly or like Miss Swinney tripping. The first time I saw you go to the bathroom, it did it for me. That's crazy. Because you told me, he said, man, in 5 years. I said, Mom, where you been? He said, man, I've been in the bathroom. I said, what? We all celebrated because that was like monumental for us, knowing that what you had been through.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. Like, that was the main thing. I said, I remember the first time you went and you like, that was cool, man. You celebrate with folk. You remember that, barbers? You hear me, people? You celebrate with folk that you know, trying to make it through and giving their best effort to do the thing. So now we gon' fast forward. Well, tell them about school. You enjoy school?
I did. I love my school. I mean, it was great.
You had a couple different instructors. They was all right, though.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, you know, I was like the nucleus that was always there. We seen people come and go, but I always would come in and kind of get everything back in line.
Yeah,
that's just kind of
used to sleep on a cot. You know what I'm saying?
You don't remember the cot, do you?
Yeah, I remember you sleep on that cot. They said, man, you was sleep on that cot. You waiting on us. He was like, yeah, man. I was like, dang.
Everybody want to be the boss till they got to pay the bills. So look, Maul said something about the cot. So the cot he talking about. So when we first did our barber school, it was just me.
Yeah.
All right, so we started off with nights, then I added days on, but I was the only instructor, so I was doing 7 in the morning to 10, 11 o'clock at night. So in the middle, and I did for a couple years. In the middle of the day, you know, I went to like Dick's Sporting Goods, Dunham Supply, something like that, and bought the military cot that they had used in the field. And in between classes, like we would shut down, like class would be like 8 to 12 part-time days. I'd take a little break and do some paperwork, lesson planning, then I'd lay down. And night class was coming in like 6, but then I changed the schedule. We did 8 to 3:30, and then night class started coming in at 5.
Yeah.
So I had like a 3:35, like an hour and a half break. I would position that cot in the middle of the break area in the back, so the students would beat on the door to wake me up, because I needed the rest. I was tired. But I did that not for me. Miss Swinney, you supposed to do that? You about? No, I did that because I had people lives in my hand, like yourself, that was taking time off their jobs, that was, you know, having, you know, wanting to get their health straightened out, you know, had kids. They were depending on me to be there so they get their hours, become professional barbers. So yeah, I sacrificed. Yeah, I slept on the cot. Yeah, I paid all the bills by myself. Yeah, I was the owner, but that was a lot on me and my family too. But for me to be where we are now, sitting, it was worth the investment.
You paid off.
It paid off. You doing good. The school is doing good. You know what I'm saying? No complaints. Everybody still grinding.
Everybody still working hard.
And so Jamal graduated. Boom. He goes to one star. Did you go to one star first? You went somewhere else? He came straight to one star. Now I'm gonna mess with Jamal just a little bit. Jamal has a barbershop. You see that look on his face right there? But, you know, sometimes, sometimes when you get where you're comfortable and where you're situated, where you fit in, you just let your other shop run itself. You the boss, so you can do that.
I want to clarify that. My mother and father have their own barbershop.
Stop it, Jamal.
And, you know, of course they told me if I wanted to come over there, I'm cool, you know, but, you know, I'm comfortable where I'm at. And like in life, I worked other jobs, but I knew I had to fall back. My pops had his own construction company. So if whatever I was doing wasn't working out, I knew I had to fall back. And that's the same thing with that shop, you know. If what I'm doing right now don't work out, I always have a shop to go to.
Absolutely.
But I don't, you know, my mom's shop is doing fine where it's at, how it's doing, and I'm doing fine where I'm at, you know. So there's no need to rock any boats, you know.
It ain't broke.
Nothing's broke, so we don't need to fix anything. She not complaining.
No.
I'm not complaining.
No.
So we good.
I always mess with Ma by the shop. I say, Ma, man, what you doing, man? I said, man, we can get this place up there. Nah, where it is ain't where I want to be.
Nah.
Which is, you know, like I always tell barbers, you got to fit where you work. And what's crazy, I think you tenure. I think you are the tenure barber at the shop. You've been there the longest than anybody.
Well, Bradford.
Ah, yeah, Bradford, my man, Bradford. I'm sorry, man. You know you my guy, 2016. Bradford, he been with me the longest. Cause Bradford started with me in 2016. Yeah. We was in Pembroke when he graduated from school, 15 really. Then he came to the one stop in Rayford. In Rockingham, then came to the one stop up here. But you and Bradford, my still my day one guy, and y'all really looking out for them young bucks. Mm-hmm. And I say that because you know what it feels like to be mistreated in the shop, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So when I see Maul working with other guys, you know, some barbers that hate on you now, they feel like, you know, but it's enough for everybody. That's what's crazy. Yeah, it's enough for everybody. Now Maul, he knows what it feels like to be mistreated by other barbers. He helps to train the younger guys coming out of school. Say, hey, young buck, you need to get that line out right there. Tell him to come back. Hey, young fella, this is what we do. This is how we do our walk-in rotation. It's enough for everybody, man. You want to get the first dibs on cuts, guess what you come in? Early. Boom, until you get
answer that phone.
Tell me.
Answer that phone. Have that phone next to you. You know what I'm saying? Be one to open it up.
No one answers the phone, don't want to deal with kids. Ain't that a mess? What's wrong with you boys, man? Them babies got mamas that tell their mamas friends that'll come get the little cuts.
Yeah.
You know, but remember, new barbers, we're gonna send all the keys to y'all because y'all rookies. Until we gotta step in when mama wanna be like this. She want the specialty cuts from the super barbers, which been there a little longer. But it's enough for everybody. I don't know why boys.
There's enough for everybody.
It's crazy. Now, you're at the shop, boom. You've been there since 17, since we opened.
No.
You didn't come in 17?
I came in 2020, right after the
pandemic. That's right, cause you graduated in, you came through COVID?
Yeah, I came right after COVID.
Was you in barber school during COVID?
I was at the very end of my hours at COVID, so I finished the last couple of my hours online, and I
did you?
Yeah.
What them COVID?
That COVID was crucial.
So have you seen a significant change in your haircutting since got to the shop?
Yes.
What changed?
My technique, style. Like when you go into the cut, you can look at a person's head and you can visualize the cut. I used to be a little like man, I'm not seeing it at first, and then we get into the motions, and then as I'm getting into the motions, I can start seeing the haircut. But now, when somebody sits in my chair, I can look and see what kind of haircut they've had.
Oh my Lord!
Got that eye, and ask them if they're trying to go back with that same haircut, or are we gonna try something new? So yeah.
Now, one thing I like Jamal's. Let's see if I'm gonna say it right. Diction. When you're talking to people and answering the phone, you're real proper. And I'm not gonna say proper. He has a good. Hey, good afternoon. This is Jamal Taylor. He pronounces and he enunciates. I got a little ebonically slang. My mother-in-law been working on me about that. I'm trying to get better. But Jamal has a great phone conversation, boys, and his conversation with his clients are real concierge.
Yeah.
Like, he be like, yeah, man, hey, how you doing, man? You know what I'm saying?
I try to use proper etiquette.
There it is. That's what I'm trying to say. In which we all should be. But that really gets people in your chair quicker, especially when you answer the phone. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, where's the guy I talked to? I think his name was Jamal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just noticed little things about different barbers like that. I noticed that you're always on time, even at the shop. And if he's not going to be there, barber, check that out. He calls and let the guys know, hey man, I ain't gonna be there till such and such. Anybody come looking for me, you know what I'm saying? Let them know. If they can't wait, you take care of them for me.
Yeah.
And that always keeps the people coming back. Cause let me tell you, I've been watching them books. Boy, they getting real thickich.
I told you what the goal was. I told you what the goal is.
What's the goal, Maul?
I'm trying to get 2,000 in a week.
What's the goal, Maul?
2,000 in a week.
And already worked it out on the paper to know how to get to that number. Only thing he's doing is talking, being there, starting to post more on social media.
Notice that.
You getting better at it. On platform, what's that IG?
Nubian God 29.
Nubian God 29. So Jamal, I remember, this is gonna be funny. I always joke with Jamal because Jamal, you see how young and vibrant he looks, right? Young fella, handsome stature. He got 3 sons. If you've ever seen the movie Me, Myself, and Irene with Jim Carrey and like the other 3 actor guys that was Jim Carrey's sons, when you see Jamal and his sons, this is what they look like. They look like his, I said, man, they're like his brothers. I said, did you have them kids when you was 2? I said, good gracious. And look, all of them very well respectful.
Yeah.
Set of twins and an older guy, but they look like his brothers. When you see them, they gonna trip out on this podcast clip. I said, y'all boys tickle me every time I see them. They're like, hey, Miss Swinney, how you doing? I said, man, do I know you? Yeah, man, Jamal's my dad. I said, boy, I keep forgetting. Y'all boys look like y'all 30 and 40, I promise. Tell us a little bit about your boys, man, what they do.
My sons have graduated, my twins graduated college.
Boom.
My oldest son attended ECU.
Boom.
He's a manager at Hooters. He's a traveling manager.
At Hooters?
At Hooters, yeah. And my 2 other sons have graduated and got masters. And they work from home. They got nice jobs.
3 boys, 4 boys?
3 boys.
You got a girl?
No, just 3.
Now, I brought that up. Jamal worked and sent his sons to college with advanced degrees, 4-year and masters, off of barbering. That's all I'm gonna tell you. This barber game real. If you set up your household with your companion or your spouse on how to budget your money, you can live great, save money toward retirement, have your own insurance, have your own 401k, Roth IRA, whatever it is, take vacations, all on barber money if you learn to budget your money properly. Make sure you stay tuned in podcast to come because we're going to do a financial segment on budgeting and financial management for the barber. But I just want to throw that out there for Jamal because he has done all of that through barbering. And he did what he had to do with concrete until he can do what he wanted to do when he finished school. And it paid off. So, Ma, now, I got to tell you, man, what does the future hold?
For me?
For Jamal. You know, I told you, man, you'd be a great teacher one day.
I've been thinking about that, you know. For me, I just want to learn, you know, I want to be polished and clean when I step in there to be able to teach other kids, be able to answer all the questions.
I got you. I'll put you on that.
And I feel like that would be good. You know, I'm easy to get along with.
That's like the doctorate degree in barbering.
Yeah.
Them instructor license. You know, you got your trichologists and other stuff like that, but trichologists can't teach barbering legitimately in school for clock hour. Unless they have an instructor license. So you can have all those degrees, but you still got to get licensed to become an instructor, and that test is no joke. See, Mr. Swinney, if you're trying to become an instructor, I might have a resource for you. I'm just saying. But Ma, you know, I got you, man. All my alumni, they come back. You know, I'll take care of y'all. You know, y'all grandfathered in. All you do is come in on your days off. You train with me, and I get you. But when you're ready, I always take care of my guys. That's how I won't stop too. You know. You got to love on people, love on them. I told you, love on people that love on you. Take care of God's people. The Lord will take care of you. That's all I'm going to say. He one of the Lord's chosen. Nubian king. He was a king before he came into this life. We ain't going to talk about this. Before he was in his mother's womb, he was already a prince and a king. Now, we taking care of Maul taking care of the people. The Lord taking care of me. What advice would you give to 2 people? The barber student in school now and the upcoming student that's graduating going to the shop?
Be consistent and make sure this is what you want to do. I mean, I've seen people come in here with that.
Oh my goodness.
The drive, well, not even the drive, but they want to be a barber but don't have the drive. They're still a little afraid to touch different hair types. You're gonna have to jump into this, and you're gonna have to like make sure that even if you're afraid, you do it anyways, you know. A lot of people are scared to take a chance because they're afraid, and you're gonna have to stop being afraid, and you have to jump into the places that make you uncomfortable and conquer those things that make you uncomfortable. And to the barbers that are in school, pay attention to them roller sets.
Oh.
All right, especially when you're dealing with straight hair. I'm telling you, it's gonna go a long way. And, you know, get you a system that works. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with listening to a lot of people, but you got to make sure it works for you. You know, and be consistent. You have to be consistent. You have to cut hair to get better at cutting hair. You know, iron sharpens iron. So if you're not cutting hair, you really are not giving yourself a chance to be better. And you know, people make mistakes, but with barbering, you know, you get a chance to fix some of your mistakes. And,
Sure.
and you talk to the client, you know, let them know your situation. You know, most people will give you a chance. So
Sure.
there's nothing wrong with making a mistake and then, you know, fixing your mistake and being consistent with your work. I mean, you have to be trying to get better, you know, and you gotta have a love. Like, I love coming to work, you know.
That makes a difference.
You know, you gotta love what you're doing. I actually love it, you know. Even on a slow day, if I didn't cut a lot of heads, I still love the ambiance of being around the shop and, you know, being around my fellow colleagues. You know, we bounce off each other while we're doing cuts. If we see something that could be added, you know, hey, take that line out right there. We do that for each other because as a whole, we want the shop to look good.
Love coming to work.
You gotta love it.
You gotta love, one, your environment, your place of business. You gotta love your colleagues. You gotta, cause guess what? Every day you're not gonna be cutting hair. What do you do when you're not cutting hair?
I am probably looking at the other client, making sure, like, you know, hey, looking at what they're doing, and probably going back and just looking at other cuts, at my pictures to see what I could have done anything better. You know, just staying around the barber world and making myself present.
There you go. So, Maul, I'm getting ready to turn you loose, but I just want to drop this on you right quick. This is what trips me out. You know, when I do drop in at the shop, I notice if it's a slow day, I come in at 1, it's clean.
Oh yeah.
Bathrooms clean, floor clean, books in order, and then I see you guys back there at the pool table playing Uno or spades or bid whist.
Yeah, we got this new one called Phase 10. Hey, it's deep, man, Phase 10. But you know, on our slow time, you know, that's how we be around each other having fun. Man, hey, it's like that. That Phase 10 is like that. If you played it, you know.
I'm
It's like that.
about to jump in on that Phase 10. I said, these guys in here straight chilling. It helps kind of pass the time along. Because you're not going to be on your phone all day. You're not going to be cutting all day, but you have things to do with each other. So folk won't be barber over here, barber over there, everybody together, chilling. And when clients see that, they run in. Like, man, what these boys doing? Oh, they hanging out.
Yeah, and then we stay clean all the time.
Word,
at the shop,
again,
so,
now.
you know, that's an impressive feat, you know, to be in there cutting hair, looking sharp, making sure people look sharp when they leave. It's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe.
Well, you know, we bought that action at One Stop. I'm saying, you know, we let the people know you got to throw that vest on, that tie, that bow tie, and them gators.
Yeah.
Or whatever they are, haters.
From Stacy's.
Stacy's, make them clean, do the thing. Maul, you are the guy today. You the man. You know you my man. Been rocking since day one. You already know. Hey, look, go ahead and show them what's the movie thing we do. Hey, tell him the movie, man. Tell him the movie.
Okay, he's
an actor too.
I've been in 2 movies. I've been in one called Life After Love. It's on YouTube. And then I was in another movie recently called Tango Hearts. And it will be premiering on Tubi on July 1st.
Hey, Tubi about that action.
Yeah. So
Tubi off the chain
we
too.
got another one in rotation getting ready to happen pretty soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna keep your eyes out on Tubi for Jamal. He's hitting the big screens, coming to a Fire Stick near you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jamal, tell them where to follow you again, man.
You can follow me at Instagram at 29 Nubian God. I'm there. Okay, check me out.
Hey, if you didn't catch that, it's gonna be in the credits, so don't even worry about it.